Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. I am joined today by Jessica Seybert, who is a team captain for Team Redwood City, the overnight walk for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. Jessica, that is a huge title, but the main thing is you're a volunteer for an organization that is doing such great work in suicide prevention and has a great fundraiser. You as a team captain, how did you find this organization and what is the overnight walk?
Well, I found this organization long before I actually started walking. I started hearing about it on the radio. They do a lot of TV ads. And so I just kind of got the idea in my head. And then I had the opportunity to walk with a group of coworkers at one of their community walks because they do have chapters in all 50 states. And so they do a lot of localized fundraising in addition to the big overnight walk every year. And so I got involved in doing those community walks and that kind of built up over time, and then last year got the opportunity to travel to Dallas to do my first overnight walk. And so it was just a great experience, and it was really moving, and so we decided we would do it again. And so the overnight walk is different from the community walks in that it's much bigger and larger, and we actually walk from dusk until dawn. So we actually literally walk overnight through the streets of whatever city we're in. This year they're in, I believe Boston is the other city besides San Francisco.
I'm envisioning you walking for a 12-hour period of time, or do you do that with teams and you do it in segments, or are you all walking together as a team for that dusk until dawn?
Yeah, last year in Dallas we had thousands of people all walking together from dusk until dawn. It's roughly about 16 miles over the course of the night, and we have lanterns along the way, reflective bands, and so we are literally lighting the darkness as we walk through the city.
So thank you for telling me this. I was going to say, what was the importance or significance to walking overnight, but it's lighting the darkness. So now, what have you found? You're a young person in Redwood City, now found this organization through Community Walk and now through the overnight walk. What has opened your eyes to this topic? Because it's a pretty deep topic of suicide prevention. And we think about this with high school age and young adults.
Yeah, and that's actually what really got me interested in the topic anyway. I have struggled at different points in my life with my own mental health, especially as a teenager. And so it was a cause that's always been near and dear to my heart. And when we talk about, the light in the darkness, suicide and depression and mental health is seen as something that, you keep to yourself.
Right.
And when in reality, a lot of people are struggling with this, and a lot of people in your own networks that you might not even know about are struggling in some capacity with their mental health. And so I think it's a topic that touches every single person, whether they know it or not. And that's really been kind of the eye-opener for me, is I've had so many people come to me and say, I struggle with this, or my sister or my friend or my coworker or someone I know that I care about also struggles with this. And it really makes really shows you that you're not alone in any of this.
And it almost gives you the talking point to start talking about these kinds of issues, because again, if you hadn't been involved in this walk, you probably wouldn't have ever had the opportunity to talk to your friends and colleagues and peer groups and business associates about this topic. It just doesn't come up in the local cocktail party or around the water cooler, for sure.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the stigma that still kind of exists around it is being broken, and this is one of the great ways to kind of break through that barrier and approach the topic. But you're right, it is something that still is not talked about.
I know that your goal is to raise money as a team captain, and we can all visit your fundraising page and donate to your team for the overnight walk here in San Francisco. But beyond that, you have a message, and that you're trying to sort of, again, start the dialogue about suicide prevention. What are some of the things that the organization, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, wants to talk about or wants to bring forward through these walks?
Through these walks, like you said, it is a lot about fundraising money, because a lot of the programs that they do, things cost money.
Cost money.
Exactly. They do run a lot of educational programs, both for adults and for youth. They lobby and work with policymakers around policy about mental health. And actually last year in Dallas, they mentioned that they have been working with local and federal lawmakers surrounding gun control. Because, suicide is, this thing that happens. someone commits or tries to, but that seed branches from so many different places.
Right.
And so, when you look at suicide, you have to look at the bigger picture,
right?
The bigger mental health picture, the bigger picture in our country, the bigger picture in our world. And so that is something that I didn't even think about until last year when they mentioned that was something they were working on as well.
Right. And these are all things that you've learned through participating in the walk and then relating it to your own issues as you brought out as a child. What can people do besides giving to your fundraising page, which is, I'm sure, what we'll be asking our viewers to do? But what else can people do to become involved in either the organization or this overnight walk in general?
Well, if you want to be involved with the organization, I would highly suggest you check out the AFSP website. They do have a local San Francisco, Oakland, and I believe South Bay and Peninsula chapter. So there are a number of ways to get involved in the Bay Area, and they have volunteer opportunities. You can donate to them directly if that's something you are able to do. And then the overnight walk, you can find out a lot more information on the website, theovernight.org.
And when is the walk? We should make sure that we tell people the date of the walk.
Yeah, so the walk will be held on June 8th. The opening ceremony starts at, I think, about 5 p.m. on the Fort Mason Great Lawn.
And can people still sign up to either be a walker or be a sponsor of the event or form a team?
Absolutely, yes. There are definitely still spots to walk in general. Our team is open, so you are able to join our team, Team RWC. And then there are definitely a lot of ways to get involved with the walk itself, whether it's volunteering at a snack station, volunteering at the opening ceremony. They need people on the ground, so that would be a great way to get involved.
And I can just, again, can I go to either your webpage or the webpage in general to find out what are the volunteer opportunities or some of the other sponsor opportunities for the walk itself?
Yeah, so if you go to the overall website, theovernight.org, there will be a lot of information there about how you can volunteer in general. And then if you go to the upper right-hand corner and search for Team RWC, that's how you can get involved with our team directly.
And then you had mentioned this before, but I wanted to make sure our viewers saw this or heard about this. So you're raising money as a team, and there are dozens and dozens and dozens of other teams raising money. So specifically, did the San Francisco chapter pick something that they wanted to specifically fund through this overnight walk, or is it to support the general programs like you had mentioned earlier in the interview?
Well, so the overnight walk actually supports the organization as a whole. So it doesn't support any one specific chapter of the organization. And from there, they disseminate out into their chapters. The community walks that I mentioned earlier do directly support the chapter that you're walking with.
Okay. And someone, again, if they jumped on the general website, can find out about the community walks in their area as well.
Yes, exactly.
Well, thank you so very much, Jessica, for being part of this interview. I'm hoping that today our viewers have an opportunity to jump on the website, learn a little bit more about your team, Team Redwood City, and contribute, or choose to join you as a walker or form a team itself.
Yeah, we really do hope that, we really do hope, obviously, that people will donate to our cause, but we do really want to get people out there with us. We would love to have people join our team. Even if you're not walking or a part of a team, you can attend the opening ceremony. And it's a great way to just build community and even get some more information if you're still curious.
And I think we should say in closing, what is the route that you will be taking, so in case somebody is outside their bedroom window and or can be at your opening ceremony?
Well, we don't have the exact route information yet. That's still being worked on and actually is kind of held close to their chest until just before the walk opens. However, the opening ceremony, like I said, is at the Fort Mason Great Lawn, and then the walk will essentially wrap around San Francisco in some way.
Okay.
Hopefully on the flat parts.
All right. Well, you bring up a good point. Thanks, Jessica, for being a part of Penn Voice today, and we wish you the best of luck on your overnight walk. Thank you for being involved.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
And we'll see all of you next time on Penn Voice.